Good morning, everyone. I started an adventure in January when I sold my house in Tampa, Florida, and moved to South Carolina. I planned to move to the Greenville area where there are mountains and streams and waterfalls, all this stuff. And my plan was to just look for a house while I stay with my friend in Charleston, which is where I sit today. 10 weeks later, still looking for a house. Basically, buying one online is what my goal was. As a cash buyer, I thought it would be really easy. Turns out it's not that easy. So before you make that big jump where you move from Florida because of the high prices of everything and traffic, being that I'm from Tampa, traffic was horrendous. And the cost of insurance was escalating to the point I couldn't even afford my home. My home, I lived in for 15 years. Everything was relatively fine until I got my insurance bill, where it went from about $2,800 a year to $6,000, and only if I replaced the roof, which wasn't leaking or had no issues. And then the worst started. The house started at literally falling apart around me. The water heater blew. And that was a nightmare, since I ended up having to buy a camping shower and shower in my own house using a camping shower, carrying buckets of water to the bathtub, because since I didn't have any hot water, it had to all be heated up in a 6-gallon coffee urn. You know, the kind they have at hotels? Well, that's how I heated my water for 2 months. 3 months. No, it was longer. Anyway, I closed on my house in March, and then by mid-April, I came up to Charleston to stay with my friend to look for a house in the upstate. You know, the Greenville area, Spartanburg, those locations. What I found was that it's actually not that easy. There are houses, but as a cash buyer, you definitely have to have a lot more cash. So it's a very unique situation. So before you make these kinds of moves, you do need to contemplate why you're leaving and what you expect. My expectations were, well, they have houses in my price range. The only thing is that most of them are not that attractive. And I'm not handy. So doing repairs myself, I mean, that's impossible. So I needed one that's move-in ready, you know. Unfortunately, houses are actually averaging about $300,000 if you want a beautiful house, you know, a decent house that's move-in ready. Most do not come with washers and dryers, so you have to provide your own. Some don't even come with refrigerators. And yet others have really strange lot lines or roads. One of the big surprises that I had about looking for a house in South Carolina was that the roads, because a lot of it's rural, the roads actually have the double yellow line, and some of them are highways. And I know, living in Tampa, no one wants to live on a highway. No one. So that was a shocker. And the ones that are in neighborhoods have HOAs. It's very difficult to find a house that doesn't have an HOA. Now, some of them are small HOAs, but like $4 a month. But because the HOA is established, you do worry that they're going to get more power, they're going to increase their prices and what they control. Now, I'm not even sure what they control for $4. I'm assuming it's streetlights. But it could escalate into something else that you don't want. So, like I said, the prices go anywhere between $4 to $125, $130, $300. Depends on what you're looking for. I want no HOA. So it has been a little bit of an issue. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do as far as finding a house. I did find some other states that have some really cheap houses. We're talking, you can get like a little McMansion for like $215 in Arkansas, or even like Augusta, Georgia. But if you want to live near the mountains, it's very difficult to find a house that is in really good shape. Some of these people are getting real good houses. When you see the prices go from the listing price down to their sold price, you'll see that some people are paying more, and then some people are paying a whole lot less. So there's no rule of thumb. And I'm sitting here in Charleston trying to buy a house online. It can be done. It's a 3-hour drive from Charleston to the Greenville area. So running up there just to look at a house is almost impossible. And a house that is desirable will be gone in 1 or 2 days. So if you don't go right away, then you're just going to have to buy it online. And then do due diligence. In your due diligence period, then go up and look at it. But you'll lose money, because you do have to put money down even to put an offer in. And that is what they have some kind of fee. It's anywhere between $150 to $500 that you put down, and if the seller accepts your offer, they accept that as money to hold the house for you. So you also have to still put down earnest money, which you can get back if you decide that there's something wrong with the house and you don't want it. Now, this is a lot I'm unpacking in this one video, but just to give you an idea of what to expect. So if you accept a cash offer for your house, just know that unless it's a great deal of money, about $500,000, it's going to be difficult to find a house in the upstate the way you want it. There are some beautiful neighborhoods, and then there are some that are very old, and there's a lot of crime. South Carolina in general has a very high crime rate, and it is shocking to see that, because it's like 47 to 1,000 chances of you becoming a victim of a crime in South Carolina, which is pretty bad, in my opinion. But I'm still looking for a house. South Carolina has always been my destination. The Blue Ridge Mountains are my dream mountain range. Now, I can't live in the Blue Ridge, because that would be living in another state. The only states I would consider are South Carolina and Tennessee. Tennessee, probably in the northeast, but that's very mountainous and very difficult to find properties that aren't too rural, and they don't have all the amenities in northeast Tennessee within the driving distance like we do in Florida. In Florida, there's a Walmart like pretty much every couple of miles, So you can go to a Walmart, just, drop a pin, you know? But not like that in Northeast Tennessee. But the great thing about Tennessee, no income tax, no state income tax, I should say. So right now, I'm still looking and hoping that I find a house. I came up here never having been to South Carolina, except when we drove through the state when I was 12 years old. That was a long time ago. So I'm going to update this every now and then so that people can see what it's like to sell your house, leave Florida, your home for the last, all my adult years, and go to a state you've never lived before. It's not an easy journey. It's stressful. And it's difficult. I'm just very lucky that I do have a friend that does live in South Carolina, because the expense to rent something until I find a house would be exorbitant and chew away at any money that I have for a home. So I'm going to keep you updated. I was going to originally start this in January when I got the offer for my house, but everything went wrong. Everything. So I didn't feel like documenting anything. Right now, it's not going right either. So I'm just hanging in there. But I want to share with somebody, whoever needs this, to let them know what it's like. It sounds like it's great on paper, but when you're really here, it's a lot more difficult. I'll keep you updated. Subscribe to my channel if you want to follow this, if this is good for you to know. All right? Thanks.